I wasn't feeling very well. I knew I was running a fever, so I took some medicine and went to lie down. My fever got a bit worse and I started to sweat. I pulled the blankets off me and took a drink of water. I fell back into the bed. I felt odd, kind of like I wasn't in my body. I sighed. I hated getting sick. It didn't happen to me very often, but whenever it did, it was a doozy of a cold. I closed my eyes and my head was spinning. I felt like I was being pulled somewhere. I tried to open my eyes, but couldn't. The spinning, it went faster and faster. Suddenly it stopped and I could open my eyes again, but my surroundings, they weren't in my bedroom. Oddly enough, I felt somebody else there, as though we shared the same body. "Who are you?" a female voice echoed in my head. I introduced myself, and so did she. Her name was Andrea Carter. I had introduced myself, Stanley Hill. I looked around the room. It seemed old. No, more like old-fashioned. I asked her where I was, and she answered that we were in the colonies. The colonies? That didn't make sense. I asked her what year it was, and she replied 1742. I was stunned. But as it was only my spirit in her body, I could do little but lie there. She went on to explain that she had a fever, the same as me, I mused. Somehow, by experiencing the same symptoms, we were connected on a spiritual level. Distance, time, it meant nothing. We started talking. She told me of her life, and I told her of mine and the future, and how there may be hard times ahead for her, but in the end, it would be for the better. I gave her details of future events, not thinking that this could have dire consequences. At this point, I'm sure I'm having a fever dream. At last, I felt myself being pulled again. I assumed back to my own body. I bid her farewell and good luck, and she said the same. I opened my eyes and sat up in my own bed. I felt much better. My body still ached all over. This fever dream was the most real I've ever had. On a whim, I grabbed my phone and Googled the name Andrea Carter and the word colonies. There was a hit. I frowned. I started to look at the article. It read, Andrea Carter, in the year of our Lord, 1742, was hereby tried and sentenced of witchcraft. She has claimed a visitation by a spirit from the future and was spouting a bunch of nonsense. We, the people of the courts, do believe it was Satan that she was in cohorts with and sentenced her to death by burning at the stake. The sentence was carried out, but she, even at the end, refused to confess her sins. She said she was innocent. Let it be recorded that her last words were her screaming for an individual named Stanley. Let it also be known that nobody by that name lives here in the colonies, or ever did. I dropped my phone and started sobbing into my hands.